Quite a few years ago I was asked to show how to create a finished ground with subgrade adjusted surface. So basically the engineer wanted to know, or wanted to be able to quickly create a surface model at the subgrade rather than the finished grade, and it's always been a challenge to do that. And recently I asked a group of people I was speaking with, engineers, surveyors, contractors, why we just do finished ground and not subgrade adjusted, and they all kind of replied that it's too difficult, too hard, takes too long. Well, it's really not the case when you got with Business Center, I found, and the tool we're using is a Takeoff Tool, and it's pretty well promoted as a quantity estimating takeoff bid type of application, but it can also be used to determine your subgrades and create a subgrade adjusted surface. So as you can see here, I have a finished ground surface. If I zoom in, you can see I've got some detail with the relief of the curb and relief of the building foundation and the sidewalk and everything. And what I want to know is I want to know what the actual cut fill is going to be, because I've got some heavy duty pavement areas, I've got some light duty pavement, I got some sidewalk, I got a building pad, and I got some sod areas, some grass. So what I can do with this, and again this is just simplifying it to show you the power, or what the power what Business Center can do with the Takeoff tools, is you use this MSI manager, and in the MSI manager you define your materials and your site improvements. So in my materials I've got different types of concrete and different types of landscaping and subgrade stabilization, and then I got my site improvements where I've got building foundations or equipment pads. So I got two different types of slabs. One being the commercial slab, you can see where I'm putting in my layers of material and the thickness that I want them to be. And the equipment pad, you can see, is going to have a different thickness. And then you can put in other stuff like cost and procurement costs and installation prices. And it's going to give you a total if you did a takeoff report. But I'm mostly interested in just creating that finished ground subgrade adjusted surface. So once you define your materials, the next step would be to identify the site regions. So I've done some pretty preliminary work here where I use the categorization tools, and I categorize my information. So when I click on design, everything that's on the design layers that I've identified as a design or proposed feature is going to be highlighted, and it's going to look for, in this case, potential boundaries. So I may come in here and set that site improvement on a new layer. We'll call it site improve. So all I did there was hit the space bar and created a new layer when I was in the layer field here. You can put in a bunch of other stuff. You don't have to put the materials in, because there is a simple subgrade adjustment option where you can just do the same thing and just say I want so many thickness of information here, and I got 12 inches here, 6 inches there, 8 inches there, and do the same thing I'm going to show you here. But why not do the site improvements and know what you're going to get? You can do takeoff and get actually quantities as well. So the first thing you do here is you just pull it down. So let's start with a building pad. So I'm going to come in here and say building foundation, and we'll call it main building, and I'm going to pick in this location, and I'm just going to pick in the middle of the building. You can see it flood fills the building. Then I'll come up and let's do the equipment pads. So I'm going to switch over to those, and again, good naming convention is probably ideal, but we'll just call this pad. And let's see, I got a pad back here for the dumpster that's going to go on, and I got some equipment that's going to show up on that pad. And then maybe we come down and let's go ahead and do some grass. So we'll do some grass sodding. Yeah, we'll just do that. We'll call it grass. And same thing. So I know I'm going to put grass here. We'll put grass here. We'll put grass in here, and in there, and there, and there. And let's go ahead and we'll grass that island and that parking line and what I want out. Then we come back and do our sidewalks. So we'll come in here, we'll put in walk. Do the same thing. Up and then I'll put that. And I probably could have just got rid of those ramps, but I may use those later, so we'll kind of keep them in there. And let's see what else. Oh, pavement. So let's go heavy paving. I'll select a heavy duty pavement, and we'll add that there, and then we'll just do some medium duty pavement, or let's go light duty on the back. So we'll just put light duty pavement there, and we'll do the same thing back here. So now I've got my site configured and set up, so I'm going to just close out this option here. And I'm just going to go over and click on build surfaces. So it's going to go through, you can see it's building the surfaces down below, and when I'm done, you can see it, if you saw over here on my 3D view, it actually created another surface. If I look over here, you can see I have finished design with subgrade adjusted. So I'm going to turn off the road site, and you can see what I have now. Let me turn on my finished design real quick. There's my finished design, and there's my actual finished design surface with subgrade adjusted. You can see the thickness in the heavy duty, the sidewalk, the building slab. I come back here, my equipment pad, my light duty pavement areas. Okay, so I've got a subgrade adjusted surface now that has taken into account the layers of material. So I can use that for my volume comps. I do my earthwork or cut fill map. I can do a earthwork report. I could go in and do a takeoff report. It's going to give me a report of the amount of material between my existing ground and my finished ground and my subgrade adjusted surfaces, and give me a quantity takeoff. So a lot of power there you can do with it, but just that aspect really solves something that goes back to something I was asked, gosh, almost 15 years ago, if I could do this in other applications. And besides offsetting and doing a lot of manual tedious approach, there was no way to do it. Well, with Business Center, you can actually do that. So pretty cool and pretty powerful feature. So check it out, see what you think.